And we are live at Historic Dunn Field for the game between the Niagara Power and the Elmira Pioneers. A quicker start for tonight's game, a little bit less ceremonies. Tonight, of course, is free poster and meet the team night. Kevin Serrano makes his debut for the Pioneers on the mound, and he will face Carl as his first batter. Here's the first pitch. That is going to be ball one, a little bit low. Here's the second pitch. Ball. And that one just bouncing away right there. Brube starts as the catcher for the Pioneers tonight, making his debut. 2-0 count now to Carl. Swing and a miss, strike one. For the Pioneers, on a little bit of losing skid, they are 0-3 entering the game. Team hitting just under the Mendoza line with a 3.52 on base percentage. That one's chopped short. Serrano picks it up. Throw to first is just in time. Great play there to get Carl out to get the first out of the inning and of the ball game. Niagara Power have played a little bit more and also have had a better start. They entered the game 2-2, hitting .257 with a .439 on base percentage. Both teams, however, are coming off defeats. Niagara Power coming off a 4-2 loss, and last night, the Elmira Pioneers also had a loss. We'll go into that a little bit more later. The second batter, Pios, comes up. Tipped away, foul. Strike one. Pios this season, he's hitting .500, 6 hits in 12 plate appearances. Also driven in 4 RBIs. Tied for the lead of his team in that category. Always a dangerous hitter. Gonna take that one. Count goes 1-1. Myra Pioneers hoping Serrano can do well tonight. So far, they have a 6.6 or 7.67 ERA and a 1.74 WHIP in the first 3 games. They're going to want to try to cut that down, pitch to some contact, let the defense do some work. That one's fouled away. Strike two. 1-2 count now to Eels. Toronto looking to get second out. Last night, Coach Drummond mentioned to his team that pitchers to start getting the first out of innings and get off to better starts. Be able to do that here. That second out, not yet there. That one's outside ball two. That one's popped up, but actually it's going to go deep. Is it playable? It's fouled just by a few inches. That went far, but didn't stay fair, meaning Eels didn't have an extra base hit. He likely was trying to go for 3. Count stays at 2-2. They take one little warm-up pitch here. Still a 2-2 count. He had 42 strikeouts and 45 innings pitched. And also, in college, he was able to hit a little bit under 300, meaning he's proven to be a bit of a two-way player. Now, of course, Drum trusting him from the mound. Here's the 2-2. The Eels. Just outside, ball 3. That breaker, he's been trying to land it. Hasn't just yet. He comes from Corning Community College. Again, making his start here. 3-2. He says to take a little bit of time here. Rethink it over. Count still full, 1 out. That one's popped up. Muzio looking to get it, but that is very much out of play. Hopefully it doesn't hit into one of the cars parked outside. Again, count stays full. Pretty long at bat from Eel. Good job of trying to get on base. He actually hasn't drawn a walk yet this season. Games he's played in, 12 plate appearances. Need to get one here. 3-2. And that is ball 4. Eels gets on base. Runner on, 1 out. Long at bat there, and a good job by Eels. And you would say it's definitely a bit disappointing for Serrano to have to come away with that long at bat. Nothing to really show for it. G-Man steps up here. Ujima. I do apologize. I'm 100% going to butcher that pronunciation. But he's up here. First pitch. Egg's going to ground out to third. Hits off his... Oh, it hits off him. Runner tries to go 3. Serrano gets it and makes the tag. And at second, Eels got a little bit cheeky. He thought, oh, you were passing it back. Maybe I can get to third. But good reactions there from Serrano to throw it to third to get the out. So even though what will definitely be graded as an error from Mandler lets a runner get on base, it gets a second out because the runner tried to sneak to third on that play. This time it was a good reaction there from the Pioneers to not let that happen. 2 outs, a runner on first. And that one's strike 1. He finally lands that breaker in the zone, getting the first strike. So there's a runner on, 2 outs. Going to get out of the mini jam, you could say, in the top of the first. That one sent deep. Outfielder's going back, but making the catch and losing his hat is Odom, and the side is retired. That was a deep one, but the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. Still a tied ball game entering the bottom of the first. You're watching Elmira Pioneers Baseball. So we are back at Dunn Field for the top of the second inning. Pioneers getting a chance at the bat here with a tied game. It's going to be Shimoleski leading off. Last night they took a loss, or 2 nights ago on June 5th, they took a loss at the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 9-6. The lefty, Shed, was able to get the win. Shimoleski gets that to the outfield, but it's just going to be a pop out to short. Had a little bit of drive, but it wasn't too difficult of a play for Kojima not to get. First out of the inning, done and dusted right away. Olszewski up and ready to go here. 1 out, bottom of the first. He's been batting leadoff for most of the season so far, but tonight has dropped to the 2 spot. First pitch. Bounces off the catcher, but still called a strike 1. Want to just be ready for that. Third strike goes that way. Someone would try to get to first base. Seen it happen before. We saw a Pioneer score from that in one of the previous games. So far for the season, Olszewski hitting .273. That's the second best average on the team for a regular player. Now he's found himself down. Still 1-1 in the count. But still needs to fight back a little bit. 1 out, no one on, a 1-1 count now. Okafor from the stretch. There's going to be a line to short, but gets off his glove into the outfield. First base runner for the Pioneers. Olszewski staying at first. Not sure whether that one will be graded as a hit or error. It's actually going to be graded as a hit. Bounced off his glove. Not much the catcher really could have done there. But Olszewski conceding his first hit of the game. Runner on first. 1 out. Muzio up again. He's ready to go. After entering the night with an 0-for-8 hitting slump, he was able to take off with a 3-for-5 night and getting on base in the 9th inning via error. The Eckerd first baseman looking to get on base here. Count goes 0-1. That one fouled away. One out, runner on. Muzio entering a little bit of good run of form, hoping it can continue here. So far, the Pioneers haven't been great with runners on base or in scoring position. A trait they're going to want to try to fix later on. There's Muzio, line drive, gets it to the gap in the outfield. Olszewski turns and heads to 3. I think he's going to be held there. Throw it to second, offline, over to first. Runners at third and second. It is a 1-out double as Muzio slides in safely, really generating some quick offense. And now, arguably the best hitter for the Pioneers, Bobby Marsh, steps up. Huge play indeed for Joe Muzio. A strong start for the Pioneers. They entered, of course, the game 0-3, looking to just get something going. And this could be what the doctor ordered, especially since Bobby Marsh, who just earlier committed to Penn State, steps up here. He's going to want to make his future college proud. Of course, he was at Florida Atlantic before, but recently just transferred, and it's official. He's headed to Penn State. Congrats to Bobby, and now he's got a real shot. Runners in scoring position. 1 out, unless there's a double play. It's very likely we'll also see Hanley take a shot at it. That, of course, being Justin Hanley. Yeah, so far this season, Bobby Marsh has been pretty active and has done a good job. Here's the first pitch. And ball 1, just a little inside. But notably for Marsh, 2 hits, he scored 2 runs, got on base 3 times via walk, tied for most on the team, and he also has an RBI. He's the only player on the team to have tripled. That was way back in the first game of the season. Oh, 1, it was called a strike, he just didn't move his arm. That one, ball 1. Count goes 1-1 now. Runners on third and second. Even count to Bobby Marsh. Ohio fans excited here. Had nearly 3,000 for the game back on June 5th. Marsh, that's probably driving in a run all the way to center field. That's caught. Thrown to third just to hold Muzio at second. But Marsh does the job. A sacrifice fly, and it's the first run of the ball game. One of the first leads we've actually seen all season for your Pioneers. Runner on second. There are now 2 outs. Marsh got the job done. Got a good barrel to the ball and sent it deep. Not deep enough to get a home run or clear the fence, but it brings a run home, and that's all the Pioneers want, to convert with runners in scoring position. Justin Hanley steps up here. He's ready to go. Hanley, so far, he has scored a run, but he hasn't gotten a hit yet. Coach Strom would love for him to change that in this at bat. Here's the first pitch. Strike one on the low corner on the outside. Hanley, he's the designated hitter, batting in the 5 spot today. Coach showing some trust for him. He's got a chance here. Try to keep the inning going and continue opening that score. That one's strike 2. I think it was more of a slider that time. It was off speed, and that time it fools Hanley. Hanley down 0-2 in the count. And a runner on second. Even if Muzio gets stranded, it's a successful inning, as a run did come home to give the Pioneers a 1-0 lead. Looking for again. And strike 3. The inning's over. Looks at 3 straight strikes. Side is retired, but not before 1 run comes home on 2 hits, no errors, with 1 left on base. We'll be back with more Pios baseball after this. You're back at Historic Dunn Field for the start of the 2nd inning. The Elmira Pioneers take an early lead after an active 1st inning. We are ready to go for inning number 2. This inning sponsor is C-Tran. C-Tran is accessible to everyone as all buses are equipped with ramps or lifts. Find out more at our website, chemungtransit.com. For all your transportation needs, remember C-Tran, the smart way to go. Now Serrano is ready to go. We are about to open the 2nd inning. First pitch. That's going to be lined down the third base line. First official hit for the Power. He's going to try to turn 2. Stay there. Good throw from left to keep the runner at first. Heads up play there by Odom to get to the ball. That was hit perfectly down the line. You can't really blame him. Serrano that time. It's Simmons getting aboard here. So runner on and no outs here after that first pitch was taken to the outfield. It's Fairbrother now. He's the designated hitter. Wonder if that runner on first is going to go, or maybe Fairbrother might try to drop a bunt. Just outside, and Ruby taking a look over at first. Count 1-0. Serrano. Ready? Turns back to first. Not in time. Mentioned Muzio was looking to improve communication to get better pickoffs. That time, they almost get Simmons, but he is back just in time. Here's the pitch. That one's outside, ball 2. Just off the edge of the zone. 2-0 count now. Again, Serrano looking to get the first out here. And ball 3, so he's being very cautious right now to Simmons. So far on the season, Simmons has been one of their most active hitters. He's 4 for 13 in total, alongside an RBI. Also got on base via 1 walk before, but notably, he's also grounded into 2 double plays. That'll be something to keep an eye on too. 3-0, which is an automatic take, I'd say, for everyone, is in the middle of the zone, strike 1. And obviously, it's better just to take there. See Muzio a little chatty at first base with Simmons. See him very active with everyone, from teammates, opposing players, to fans. Always very chatty, friendly, and outgoing. That one, ball 4, just a little high. 2 runners get aboard, second walk for Serrano. Still no outs. There are 2 on. So after a very strong start from the offense, not the best start here on the mound on defense for the Pioneers. Now there are 2 runners aboard, no outs. The 7-hitter, G-Man, I think, is how you pronounce it. Jimian. I will say the Niagara Power have some really interesting names. Always cool to look at, but a little bit annoying to say. Meanwhile, that one bounces past Muzio. A bad hop off his glove. And the game, I think, will be tied. It will. Vaughn throwing to second. Runners now at the corners, and it is a tied game. And I'm not sure how this one's getting graded. It looks like it will be an error off Muzio. Disappointing there, as I don't think Muzio could have done that much for it. But in the end, it does bring a run home, as Simmons scores all the way from second. It is a 1-1 ball game now, and a dangerous runner on third with no outs. So what was a very strong start for Elmira has gone just a little sour here. Hemmer now up, ready to go. He's the third baseman. Throw back to first, not in time. Being a little more active on pickoffs. That's something that Coach Drum said he wanted to work on. Just general fielding things, get the defense a little more active. Takes a look over to first. Likes what he sees. Here's the pitch. That one's outside, ball 1. Niagara Power have notably had a slightly better pitching staff, a 5.25 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, and 23 strikeouts. They almost catch Zimian off guard there at first, but he's back just in time to evade the tag. You do wonder whether he's looking to go to second eventually. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. I'm Taylor Storey. You're watching Elmira Pioneers Baseball. It's the 4th game of the season for the Pios, and we're hoping we can get the game in. It's projected to rain a little bit later, like at 8 and 9 p.m., but for now, we should have some great baseball on tap for you. That one, ooh, this time he gets his breaker to land in the zone. Saw some nice movement on that pitch. 1-2 count now. Chance to try to get a first out of the inning. Already in a bit of a jam, but he'd like to knock a first strikeout down and get a 1 out to help his cause. Here's the 1-2 now. Hammer. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's an important player to get your first strikeout against. An important situation. And up steps Lobliner, the number 9 hitter. And Lobliner has had 6 at-bats, and he has struck out in 3 of them, going 0 for 6. Did get on base via 1 walk. So, empty count now with runners at the corners for Serrano, who's hoping to try to recover. Slower start to the inning, allowing the Power to tie up the game. Still plenty of time for the Pioneers to try to strike back. Their bats already hot from the get-go, something we don't always see. Here's a pitch from Serrano. That one in zone, strike one. He started to locate that little breaker even better. Hard to tell whether that's a curveball or maybe just a weird slow cutter, similar to the one that Devin Williams has in the major leagues. But we see Serrano leaning forward. Interesting resting position. Serrano with the pitch. Batter almost went. Berube gets in front of it. Ball one. That one gets wild. The Power have the lead, so a great play there by Berube to stay in front. He's making his debut for the Pioneers this season, as it has been previously Brody Bartenstein and Gil Murad for one of the games behind the plate, part of the battery. Apart from him, it's generally a lot of returning people and no other real debuts in the lineup for the Pioneers. We'll go over that at the bottom of the second. That one in the dirt, Berube stays in front of it. Good reactions and good job to stay in front of those balls to the outside. And actually, we'll tell you who's in the field really quickly. Odom is in left, Shimoleski in center, Janae Vaughn in right field. Marsh Hanley, they aren't in the field, they're the hitters. DH and EH. Muzio at first. Phelps at second. Olsowski at short. That one's a pop-up. And that one's going to go onto the roof. Almost worried if I had to try to make a catch in the booth 1 second. Count now 2-2. And finally, after Olsowski at short, Mandler is playing at third. That's how your Pioneers line up in the field. Here's now the 2-2, the lob liner. Lob liner is going to drive that one deep to left field. I think that's landing behind him. Yes, it does. Off the wall, 1 run scores. Runner is going to round third, heading for home. Throw, close, not in time. A 3-1 Power lead off an RBI double. Clears the bases as Dzimian scores from third, and Fairbrother gets the easiest run coming home. That was a deep one, and I think the closest hit we've had to a home run at Dunn Field all season. But just lands right at the wall. 3-1 Power lead. But once again, things turning a little sour for the Pioneers. And what's disappointing is there had been 2 free runners that had just scored, Fairbrother and Dzimian. Although an error is a little bit nicer of a free runner than a few of the others. That one fouled away. Strike 1. And so we are going to see the number 2 up here. And yeah, I actually think that we're seeing a 10-man lineup. Or 9-man lineup for the Niagara Power instead of a 10-man. Swing and a miss, strike 2. He's down 0-2 already. Previous at bat, Carl grounded out to the pitcher. The first out of the game. 1 out, runner on second. That one bounced away from Berube. Runner's going to get to third. And he's told to stay there. Count goes 1-2 now. And here, pitch. Dirt again, ball 2. This time had some heat, but aimed down at the plate rather than over at the plate. 2-2 count. Infield playing in, trying to get a ground ball to home. That one fouled. Carl staying alive here. For the season, Carl hitting .385 with 4 RBIs. He also has 2 triples, so we know he possesses a little bit of speed. He also has 2 stolen bases. That one this time popped. I think that could be a souvenir for a fan. Carl staying alive here. 2-2 count. Runner on third. Chance to try to put the Power up by 3 and really bring the pain to the Pioneers this inning. See some players stretching out over at the bullpen, but I highly doubt there's going to be a serious change at this time. Apart from a few fluky plays, Serrano has still looked really good from the mound. Ball 3 just outside. That one nearly on the outside corner. Ruby can't frame that well enough to look like a strike. Full count now. Carl. On deck, we've got Eels. And ball 4. So, runners at the corners one more time. With 1 out, another batter comes up here. Already, Eels was able to get on base via walk. And Billy Waldman's going to come out to the mound to have a conference really quick with Serrano and the infield. Now, Hofakor actually isn't making his first start today. He pitched 4 innings in his first appearance. He conceded 5 earned, alongside 3 hits. This was back in an opening loss that they had. He also recorded 5 strikeouts, just 2 walks and 3 hits. So every runner he conceded scored. It's actually second highest ERA with an 11.25, but again, there are also quite a few piles with some high ERAs, and Serrano's will probably also be high right now. Runner goes. Ruby throws to second. Runner going home. Throw home is going to be offline. So a double steal ultimately works, and it's a 4-1 ball game. The throw back to the plate just went a little high from Olsavsky. Count 1-0. Here's Serrano again. Here's the 1-0. Just outside, ball 2. Bit disappointing so far here in the top of the second inning. Pioneers haven't conceded 4 runs on just 2 hits, and not always a great outlook so far. Here's the pitch. That one outside, ball 3. You do see some stretching and tossing out in the bullpen, and I have a feeling that they might be looking to try to warm up someone just in case. You're going to want to try to get Serrano out of the inning if he can recover. Here's strike 1. 3-0 count, the easiest take in the world. That time tagging the outside corner. Eels got on base via walk last time. Close to drawing it this time. He needs 1 more ball. Toronto needs to find 2 more strikes or a fieldable ball in play. Instead, it's going to be a second walk to Eels. Ball 4. That is the 3rd walk in the inning, 2nd walk in a row from Serrano. Ujima back up, ready to go. 2 runners on, 1 out. He got on base via error in his previous at-bat. Ball 1. It was on that play where a runner, Eels, was tagged out trying to get to 3rd. Power had been risky in the base paths, and even though it didn't work in the first, it did work in the second. Saw a double steal from the runners at the corners work perfectly after Ruby made the throw to try to get the runner at second. throw back home was a little bit offline. Tipped away, count goes 1-1. Already a little bit of offense. I think this is the quickest we've seen both teams getting on the scoreboard. Pioneers getting a first inning run, while the Power waited till the second inning, but they've come and scored 4 in that inning. Jima, 1 for 4 for the season, hitting .250. Yet to get an RBI. Runners go. Throw third in time. They're going to catch him stealing at third. Runner will still get to second. 2-1 count. Now there are 2 outs. Quick play and throw by Berube. Two-one Ujima. And Berube doing a great job behind the plate. Even though that play home was a little bit wild, he's done a great job of getting in front of passed balls, wild pitches. And there, with a cannon of an arm, get a would-be base stealer out at third. Here's the 2-1. That one gets away from Berube, and that's what you call the old commentator's curse. Just as I praise him for staying in front of balls, this one takes a weird hop for ball 3 and gets a runner to third. Two outs, man on third, 3-1 count. Jima looking to try to get on base again, keep the inning alive. Toronto wanting to end it here. 3-1. And ball 4. Ruby keeps it in front of him to make sure our Eels can't score. And there's now a runner on first. That's the third walk in a row conceded by Serrano. Runners now remain at the corners. One more time. Top of the second, 2 outs, 1 more out needed to get out of the inning. Pullman back up. He flew out in his previous at-bat. It was a well-hit ball, but a good job by Odom to track it down. Here's the 0-0. Just a little bit high and outside ball 1. Toronto's completed 1 2/3 already. Again, free bases have been an issue. Currently, all the runs, apart from Simmons, or 3, or actually, out of the 4 runs, 2 of them came on free bases if you count errors as free bases. That one grounded, foul. And having to leap out of the way of that one was Eels. Handler comes up with it, or doesn't. But it's also very much foul, so there's no harm on the foul call there. 1-1 count, 2 strikes. Seen some pitchers get some rocky starts before, but it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. If you can just get out of the inning, that would be huge. That one's ball 2 inside. Drum trusts his pitchers, and I know he doesn't want to have to make a change, but Toronto continues to struggle. He just might have to. His first appearance of the season. What'll Serrano do now? And strike 2. He's able to get 2-2 count. And even though it's an even count, you could say it's favoring the pitcher a little bit. Just need 1 more strike. Get out of the inning. So 2-1, 2 outs, a 2-2 count. Here's Serrano from the stretch. Just outside. Runner goes, but this time, Ruby just holds on to it, not wanting to risk what had happened earlier. That Ujima gets a stolen base. Now there are 2 runners in scoring position. You have a free base, but you might not want to concede it. That would bring bases loaded, even with 2 outs. And ball 4. That's a 4th walk conceded in a row. Long at bat, but still ends with a runner on base, and the inning continues. And here comes Coach Drum, and that will be it for Serrano. He gets through 1 2/3. A tough start for him, but it happens to the best of us. Toronto finishes with 4 earned runs, 2 hits, 5 walks. And it is a little bit of a shame. Actually, it'd only be the good news for Serrano. Only 3 earned runs, but he is responsible for all 3 of the runners that currently occupy the base path. 2 outs, chance for a new pitcher. Get out of the inning. So Ziv Gar has got the call from the pen to come in here. Bases loaded, top of the second. And at this point, we are back to Simmons. Simmons, he's making his second plate appearance here, while Ziv Gar ultimately warms up and gets ready for his first appearance. This time out of the bullpen. Definitely not what Coach Drum or Gar had planned for, having to come in this early. But Gar's going to be trusted to get out of this jam with as little damage as possible. Went 2-2 at Malloy College, and he actually had a complete game, so his arm can go the distance. And I know that's what Drum will want to do. Want him to come in, try to get maybe the 5th inning, and just eke out as long a start as he can. Tonight was Meet the Team and Free Poster Night. For the Pioneers. It was great to see a lot of local kids and people being able to meet their Pioneers before the game. Now we've got 2 outs and the bases loaded. Gar facing off against Simmons. Earlier in the inning, Simmons got a single and scored. Simmons pops this one up. Muzio and Berube watch as it lands in the crowd. Oh, off the roof. Oh, 1 count. Ball 1 just a little low. Just 1 out needed and 2 more strikes. Retire the side and get out of the jam. That one's going to be ball 2, though. On deck is Fairbrother, who scored and got on base for a walk in the previous inning. That one's a drive. That's going deep left field. Is it playable? Odom, he does. Gets the final out of the inning. The damage has been long done, though. 4 runs on 2 hits and 1 error, and the bases are left loaded. We'll be back with the bottom of the second after this. After a long top half, how can the Pioneers respond? We'll be back with more Pioneers baseball. Bottom of the second here. This inning's sponsor is Multimedia Services. Apart from providing us with all the signage you see up in the outfield, they're also a very valued sponsor and one of the sponsors for tonight's Meet the Team event, and helped us create our posters that include the season schedule. So thank you again to Multimedia Services for being a sponsor of the Elmira Pioneers, and remember them for all your printing needs. Leading off for the Pioneers is Lucas Phelps. Swing and a miss. He's down 0-1. So Holfakor on the mound. Defeated one run back in the first, hoping to have a little cleaner of a second inning. Won't start super clean. Ouch, babe. Phelps is going to get to first on a hit by pitch. That one will definitely sting. But going to get on base to open up the inning, which is good news for the Pios, currently trail by 3. So, that will bring up Max Mandler. Runner on. Mandler, one of the few Pioneers who have not gotten on base at all this season, apart from maybe an error. Pickoff attempt is safe. On that play, we saw Lucas Phelps get on base for the first time. You do wonder whether they might want to try to get him to second. Throw back, he is safe again, beating the throw. Definitely respecting his ability to steal, as Max Mandler looks to try to keep some offense going. The Pios. That one's going to be chopped to the pitcher. Look for the out at second, but instead have to go for the out at first. But in the end, that kind of works like a sacrifice. So Phelps gets on second. Mandler out. The first out of the inning. Janae Vaughn up here with one out and a runner on. That one a little bit high, ball 1. Vaughn went 2 for 4 with a walk and also scored as a run back in his previous game. So he had a pretty good debut, and he's back in the lineup tonight. Swing and a miss. Vaughn wanted to take that one deep, but couldn't. Here's the 1-1 count. Team trailing 4-1 with one runner on. Here's the pitch. And ball 2. Good take from Vaughn right there. Getting ahead in the count. Could have a very active offense game here. Already 5 runs scored. Just 2 1/3. 2 innings. Top half. That one's going to be chopped again to the pitcher. Bounces weirdly off his glove. It's going to get the out in time at first. So, works again. Get a runner moving as a productive out. But there are now 2 outs in the inning. That runner in third would help cut that deficit down, but they need to bring him home. Ruby up here making his first plate appearance of the season with a runner on third and 2 outs. Chance to try to keep the inning alive. On deck after Ruby is Zach Odom. Ruby, that one fouled off his bat right there as he tried to check up. Phelps at third. He's going to be sprinting at any contact to try to get home. Crowd getting loud. Pios wanting to convert this inning. Even if it's just for 1 run, it will help them in the longer run. Here's the 0-1. Held up, ball 1. As we mentioned, of course, Ruby, the third catcher to start. From Northern Essex Community College, he had a 50% caught stealing rate in conference play. That one's strike 2. He takes that inside. Northern Texas Community College had a very solid season, going 41-2, and Ruby was a solid part of that. He's very active defensively behind the latest part of the battery. Overall at college, he had a 38% caught stealing rate, which is pretty good comparative to MLB level. That one bounces away, 2-2 count. That time, it's a very quick grab by Lobliner. Keep that run from scoring. Lobliner had a bases clearing double back in the second. 2-2 count now. Ruby looking to try to get a runner home. Ruby fouled. Okafor doing a great job from the mound, forcing two very easily fieldable balls. Get 2 outs. However, he's got one more batter and needs to retire him to get out of the inning without a scratch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the side is retired. That's the second strikeout of the game, which means that on one hit, no errors, there are no runs scored, and 1 left aboard. Still a 4-1 lead for the Power, entering the top of the 3rd inning. We're back at Historic Dunn Field for the top of the 3rd inning. The Power had a powerful second inning and took a 4-1 lead over your Elmira Pioneers. Papa John's is our sponsor this inning, but the Pioneers would like to thank our sponsors for tonight's game and meet the team in poster night. I want to thank Blaze Brockway Contracting, Texas Roadhouse, Just in Time, Hilliard, Multimedia Services, The Arc, Shimon Schuyler, Today's Special, and Buckley's Automotive Inc. They helped sponsor tonight's game, and we want to thank them for supporting the Pioneers. Now, back to some baseball. Ziv Gar pitching to open to Fairbrother. Fairbrother fouls that one away. Almost needed the duck out of the way of that one. Strike 1. Fairbrother's previous at bat, he got on base via walk and scored. Fouled away again, 0-2. So after tonight's game against Utica, there's a 2-day road trip for the Pioneers. They return home for the 10th and 11th against Newark and a rematch against the Power. Here's the 0-2 now. That one's going to be popped and sent to the outfield. Yvonne comes under it, makes the catch. Good play by Janae. Get the first out of the inning. Had to run a little bit of distance, but got to it. Going close to dropping in no man's land. That little area between the infield and outfield. That little fly balls can drop for singles or even doubles if you're fast enough. Yeah. Either way, 6:45 p.m. on Wednesday is when the Pioneers will face Utica. Be sure to tune in then. We'll be on the road. The team, the broadcast. Oneonta is the game at 7 p.m. on Thursday, so be sure to check that one out as well. That one's going to be rounded to second, fielded by Phelps for the second out of the inning. A quick at bat right there on the second pitch. The first one was ball one. But Phelps helps turn the second out of the inning. Gar doing a great job of getting two quick outs here. Open the top of the third. Reminder, of course, you can still get season tickets for your Pioneers. Call 607-734-2690 to do so. Gar doing well, and he's now got to face Hemmer. Swing and a miss. Hemmer so far is the only player on the Power to have not reached base yet this game. He struck out in his first at bat. Swing and a miss, strike two. Gar doing a great job of getting ahead of him, looking to finish the inning in order. Strike three gets him looking, and the side is retired. The Power go down 1, 2, 3, and now a chance for the Pios to try to come back in the bottom of the third inning. Power still lead 4-1. We are back at Historic Dunn Field for the bottom of the third inning. It was a quick one this time as Gar retired all three batters in order, including a strikeout and three pitches for the final one. It's currently a breezy 68 degrees here in Elmira, and right now on the forecast, we've got a little bit of rain. It's potentially a little bit for this hour, but very much guaranteed for the next hour. It's been these types of conditions all day with a bit of a break to get started for the game. Hopefully we're able to get through a majority or all of this game, but that'll just be how quick it will go. Ball one right there. So, Odom, the only batter who hasn't had an at-bat yet for the Pioneers, leads off this inning. And by no at-bats, I only mean this game. He has had a couple games so far this season. Count goes 1-1. Went 1 for 3 in his previous outing. Has a .333 average on the year. So 33% of the time he's going to get on base. Hopefully he keeps that trend up here. It could help the Pioneers. That one's going to be grounded, but this time excellently fielded there at the mound by Holfakor. Holfaker. I do apologize. Pronunciations are a little bit tricky tonight. But gets the first out of the inning. Simple 1-3 out right there. Chmielewski up now. 1 out. Chance to try to get things back on track for the Pioneers. Ball 1 just a bit outside. Chmielewski. He's here for the at-bat. 1-0. Strike 1. That time it did get the outside corner for strike. Hitting .333, 2 for 6 on the season, alongside an RBI and a walk. That RBI came off a sac fly. Here's the 1-1. And that one's low. Ball 2. That one had some good break on it, broke into the dirt instead of the catcher's glove. 1 out. There's a 2-1 count now to Chmielewski. Now it's going to be grounded. Takes a weird hop to short. That's a weird hop that's eventually gathered, but not enough time. Runner gets aboard. Bounced in the right ways to help him get on base right there. There's a runner aboard, 1 out, and that is going to be graded as the first error of the game. After popping out to short last time, Chmielewski gets on base via error at short this time. Olszewski ready to go. First be called Joe rather than Joseph. Runner on. Strike 1. Father, former NFL player. Got a single and scored as the only run for the Pioneers in his previous at-bat. Throw back to first. Chmielewski back in time. Papa John's is this inning's sponsor for the Pioneers, delivering always really solid pizza. And if you're in the Elmira region, they're a very good choice. Here's the 0-1. That one's ball 1, just a little bit low. Tying run would be on deck for the Pioneers. They've got plenty of time to make up that 3-run deficit, but they'd probably want to start now, especially with rain potentially bringing an early end to the game later on. 2-1 count. Olszewski ahead now of Holfaker. Olszewski drives that one to right field. It should be playable, though. It is. The throwback to first. Chmielewski was caught off guard, and that'll end the inning. That is just not heads-up action on the base path. Chmielewski thought that it was going to drop as a fair ball, but it didn't. They were able to double him up, and the side is retired. We will be back with more Pios baseball after this. And we are back for the top of the 4th inning. Here for the Elmira Pioneers. 34 viewers, thank you for tuning in. Slow start for the Pios, but 6 innings to go. They first have to get through the top here. Well, actually only 5 innings to go, and that could, of course, be shortened via rain, so maybe I shouldn't be saying there's still plenty of time. We don't know how long this game will go. It's been a pretty quick 2 innings, though. Well, after the very long top of the second, was a quick bottom half, and then quick top and bottom halves of the third inning. Divgar did a good job retiring the first 3 batters of the third inning. Get out of the jam. Now is a chance to do so in the fourth. That one bounces away from Berube. The count goes 1-1. Bob Liner up here. He got a bases clearing double in his previous at bat. And notably, the Power electing to use a 9 batter lineup instead of a 10. So, trying to just keep that lineup shorter and sweeter, trusting their hitters. Here's the 1-1. That one ball just inside. Very active second inning, but apart from that, they had been pretty quiet. They've only also had 2 hits in the game, meaning they've been getting on base via walks and a handful of errors. That one's grounded to third. Throw to first is in time. Great play right there by Max Mandler to get the first out of the inning. That was a toughly fielded ball and a tough throw, but he gets it done just in time. 1 out, no one on. Top of the order, back up. Carl. Carl got on base with a walk, but he was caught stealing as well, so he wasn't able to score. And in his first at-bat, he grounded out to the pitcher. At that time, it was still Kevin Serrano. 1-0, he's able to get ahead here. Here's from the stretch. Strike 1. So 2 similar pitches, one of them just a little bit too far from the zone, and the other one just right inside. 1-1 count now for the leadoff hitter. That one's going to be grounded to short. Picked up by Osofsky. Throws on target. Second out of the inning. Recorded. So after that very shaky second inning, the Pios really settling down here and getting some quick outs. Gar pitching the contact, and that is what Coach Drum has been stressing, for pitchers to just get to contact, let the defense do the work, try to get some quick outs. And with that, Gar has been able to do that for the 2 innings he's come in for. 2 outs here. Ball 1 just outside. That one, ball 2, a little low. Eels now up. He's been on base twice with 2 walks, and already has a pretty friendly count. And ball 3, that one nearly hitting him. He just scooted forward to get out of the way of that one. 3-0 count. Eels 1 ball away from getting a 3rd walk of the game, although he hasn't scored yet when getting on base via walk. That one's strike 1. 3-1 count. Pretty sure that's how also the first few at-bats for Eels went. Went 3-0 and then went to 3-1 after he took that one. But ball 4, so just like his previous at-bat, a 5-pitch walk. First walk conceded from Gar. There's a runner on, 2 outs. Ujima now up and ready to go. Ujima had gone on base via error and walked in his first 2 at-bats. He's 0 for 1. Throw back to first, but Eels back safely. Runner goes. Berube, the throw. Not in time. It was a very well-executed throw, but this time it was the jump from Eels that was able to get the stolen base done. The forecast currently predicts around 45 minutes we could expect a little bit of light rain. Wonder if that will hold up or not. Count 1-0. That one driven deep left field, but not deep enough. Odo makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs and no hits and no errors. No one left the board for Niagara that time around. We'll be back with the bottom of the fourth right after this. We are back at Historic Dunn Field. We are underway with the bottom of the fourth inning. Jolton Joe Muzio leads off for the Pioneers. He had a double in his previous at-bat. Was able to help Osofsky get all the way home. That ball's taken outside, ball one. That one tipped away, strike one. Muzio seems confident the team can eventually break their slump, having an 0-3 start. He had a very strong game last night. He says just all the things need to come together to get them a win. That could be one of those things, as he's able to get on base, and we'll say a good thing that during production that one hit awfully close. The special spot you don't necessarily want to get hit with an 80-mile-an-hour pitch at. He looks all good. He's walking over to first base and gets aboard to open the bottom of the fourth. Bobby Marsh now has another shot with a runner aboard. Of course, Bobby Marsh, he's recently committed to Penn State. He had a sacrifice fly in his previous at-bat, getting the only RBI of the game for the Pios. Tipped away. Strike one. I want to thank Demet's Candy Company as our sponsor. The bottom half of the inning. They've supported the Pioneers. We thank them for supporting us. Here's the 0-1. That one's low, ball one. No one out, a runner on, thanks to the hit by pitch. Again, you get a little bit of chance for the Pioneers to get back to making some offense happen. Throw back to first. Safe. Try to get Muzi off guard. Weren't able to. Do one count. Marsh flares that one. It gets down foul despite. Oh, wait a minute. It was fair, just in by an inch. Yes, it was. As Drum excitingly points over, so does the home plate umpire. That one landed in fair territory for a single. Well, would you look at that? I mean, I was certain that one was just about foul, but it gets down again, a little bit in no man's land. Gets two aboard with no outs, bring the tying run by the name of Hanley to the plate. Hanley's got on base before. He actually got on base and scored after a strikeout that went too far from the catcher. Now he's looking to score via more conventional means, of course. Now it's inside ball one. He's able to get ahead. Now, despite the slow start here, this also hasn't been a terrible game for the Pioneers. As Coach Drum has mentioned, that if certain things just go the Pioneers' way, such as wild pitches, maybe a fewer walks, Pioneers could very much be looking at a 3-0 start rather than an 0-3 start. But that's the way baseball's played. Those little errors can cost you, and today they have. There have been 2 errors right now from the Pioneers, and they've conceded 4 runs on just 2 hits, feeling a lot like a true Pioneers loss in the making, but they still got some time to turn around. Even though that one's fouled off, Hanley's still a very nice hitter's count, you could argue, 1-1. Important pitch here in the at-bat coming up. And did he go? No, he didn't. Ball 2. Had to just confer with the infield umpire. 2 umpires, of course, in play here. 2-1 count. 2 on and no outs. Start what could be a very big inning for the Pioneers if they're able to get it right. It's up to Hanley to try to make that possible. Here's the 2-1. That one's going to be grounded to second, flipped to short, throw to first, and it's a double play, but a runner does stay at third. Muzio advances to third, but it's a 4-6-3 double play. Get 2 outs on the board, and to put a little bit less stress on the shoulders of Hulfaker. Lucas Phelps comes up here, runner on third, 2 outs. That one, ball 1, just a bit low. Here's the 1-0 to Phelps. Ball 2. But tried air to look like framing it in the zone, but not even the best efforts from Lobliner, I think, would have been enough for that pitch. So Phelps gets ahead early. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, but got stranded at third. 2-0. Ball 3. See Muzio taking a little bit of a lead at third, ready to go with a ball in play. 3-0 count with 2 outs. Phelps might be able to get on base here with Mandler on deck. Obviously, this is probably an instant take. Just ball 4, you get on base. If not, it's 3-1 count. You're still very ahead. That time, it's strike 1, the outside corner. Count goes 3-1 for Phelps. This one's a little more iffy. You might want to swing once it's 3-0 because you know the pitcher's probably going to try to want to throw a strike here and get that count full. Once again, he could go for a ball, so you just have to be careful. Muzio takes a big lead. That one was right down the middle, strike 2. Count goes full after it was 3-0. Now this is a big payoff pitch. Runner on third. 2 outs. Real dangerous situation right there. Full count here's from the stretch. And ball 4. So it took a little while, but Phelps was able to draw a full count and get on base via walk to keep the inning alive. Runners to the corners now with 2 outs for Max Mandler. Let's go Pios chants echoing around Dunn Field. as there is a conference at the mound, pitching coach, and the rest of the team. I think it's just a little, hey, just keep your head up. We got 2 outs. Don't stress. Holfaker still on the mound. Kind of think more Anchor, I believe, for the last part of his name. 2 outs. Runners to corners. Max Mailer ready to go. Already had mentioned Max Mailer, no hits yet this season. He had a sacrifice in his previous at-bat, though. Got a first take here. It would likely do more than just bring 1 run home. Throw to third is in time. Muzio's still at third, creeping a little bit, ready to go home. As Phelps dove back safely at first. Holfaker still ready for the first pitch of the at-bat. That's a sign from the stretch. Ball 1. That was close, but just a little bit inside. Lights are coming on here. It's 8:25. Rain potentially around 9. Wonder if I can see it out in the distance. Throw back to first. Phelps safe, though. Trying to get a pick off, but good reactions from Phelps to not get caught out to dry. And indeed, it's predicted that we could have a little bit of nasty weather in roughly 25 minutes or so as the count goes 1-1. Hopefully not. Some clouds passing by. It's been like this all day. Not as much a clear blue sky, more overcast. 1-1 count now for Mandler. Runner goes. Throw to second. It's going to be in time, and that will end the inning. Phelps tried it, but got caught out, and that will retire the side. 1 hit, no errors, no runs, 1 left aboard. Top of the 5th inning next, right after this. We're back at Historic Dunn Field, top of the 5th inning. I'm Taylor Storthy on the broadcast. We want to thank Vasco Brands for being the sponsor of this inning. If you got any janitorial needs, whether you run a company or need some janitorial supplies, Vasco Brands should be the place you go. If you do, tell them the Pioneers sent you. So, ready for the top of the 5th inning here. Power looking to extend their lead. Coleman leads off. Flew out and got on base via walk. That one gets away from Berube, ball 1. It's been a tough start for the Pioneers this season, but it's a long season, as Coach Drum has said. Roll with the punches, and sometimes they'll come early. That one's going to be flown deep, but likely playable in foul territory. Muzio and everyone tracking it down, but it's unplayable. And we see 2 Pioneers running into the fences. Very good effort from Phelps to try to track that one down all the way from second base. You also see Janae Vaughn going from right field to it. 1-1 count, no outs. Sunset coming soon as well, but harder to see the sun in these conditions. 1-1. And that one's strike 1. A breaker landing on that outside corner. Gar came on, bases loaded, got out of the jam, and now has been very good so far, conceding only a single walk back in the 4th inning. That one's going to be popped up. Should be playable. Vaughn and Phelps trying to get to it. No! That's been the case of who's got it. No, I don't. Do you? No. So no one knows who is trying to get that one, and it lands for a single. And that's a disappointing play. 3rd hit of the game for the Pioneers. Coleman gets aboard to open the inning. Just need better communication sometimes in the outfield. A runner's now aboard, no outs. So, as Simmons comes up here, I'm going to give you a little bit of trivia. What Hall of Fame shortstop previously in Elmira Pioneers? I'll give you my first hint here. He's one of the GOATs of that position. And a very recognizable name. 2-0 count now as that second pitch is outside. At the end of the inning, or half inning, I'll give you another hint that may or may not kind of reveal it, and I'll reveal it back at the top of the next, or at the during the bottom half of the inning. So now we're going to see Simmons get ahead 3-0 in the count. But again, just trivia, what Hall of Fame all-time great shortstop once played for the Elmira Pioneers? Feel free to answer in the chat if you'd like. 3-0 count now to Simmons. That one, strike one, lands just inside the zone. Simmons has got it on base once with a single and scored from it. He had 2 at-bats in the second inning. He'd also flown out in foul territory with bases loaded. That one fired back to first just in time. That time it's ball 4. So another walk conceded. 2 are on with no one out. That's going to bring up Fairbrother, who's 0 for 1 with a walk that he also scored from. So far, Fairbrother's been a pretty good hitter. Power. In terms of getting on base, he's had 3 walks so far this season, yet to record his first hit. Fouled away. Coaches always like players with good on-base percentages. Does carry a good one. They know that his coach is also going to want to try to get him to convert with a hit in this position. He's already down 0-1 in the count to Ziv Gar. That's going to be line to right. Janae Vaughn gets under it. Both runners back to their bases safely. That's the first out of the inning right there. Even a perfect tag up probably would not have been able to get a runner to third. So Zimian comes up here, got on base via error, and scored from it. Now he's got a chance with 2 runners on. His other at-bat, he grounded out to second. That was when he first faced Ziv Gar. 1 out, 2 on. Wonder what he'll do here. He's going to pop that one up. Should be playable. Coming in is Odom, and he makes the catch. 2 outs now with 2 runners aboard. But Gar, after conceding that single and walk, doing a great job of keeping his calm and composure. Hemmer comes up here with 2 on and 2 out. Struck out in both of his previous plate appearances. Hemmer has a total of 5 strikeouts in 8 plate appearances for the season. However, he's going to want to improve. Strike 1, that breaker landing safely down the middle. Almost hung that, but take on strike 1. No harm there. 0-1 count now to Hemmer. Outside ball 1. Time breaker just with a little more run. From the middle to the outside, down also in the dirt. So Gar up and ready to go, the 1-1. That one's going to be lined into the outfield. Vaughn able to pick it up, but it should send a run home. Will they try to go two? No. Throwing to Berube, he corrals it. Runners are now at the corners with 2 away. It's an RBI single from Hemmer. So Coleman had no reason to not run, so he went and scored from second. Meanwhile, Simmons is able to get to third. A 5-1 ball game now. On the 4th hit of the ball game. Runners are now at the corners. 2 outs. See a little bit of action in the Pios bullpen, some stretching and tossing. At this point, I think that Gar will probably get another inning if he's able to get a quick out here. He's facing off against Lobliner, who had a bases clearing double and a ground out in his first 2 at-bats. 2 outs. Runners to the corners. Ball 1. Tipped away. Sent down the line. Foul. 1-1 count. Gar 2 strikes away from getting out of the inning and keeping the damage at a minimum. Gar ready. Ball 2. The Lobliner able to stay ahead here. Top of the order, Carl to up next. Only a 9-man lineup for batting from the Niagara Power. Here's the 2-1. Gar fires back to first and Muzio holds on to it. Two outs, 2-1 count, 2 runners on. That one's going to be sent into the gap. And it lands off the wall right there. That'll clear the bases, so it's another 2-run double from Lobliner. That one was just a perfect hit. Something you maybe see out of MLB The Show. He got all of that ball, and that was a missile to the wall. And now we're going to see Wilderman come out, I think, just to calm down Gar. At this point, they just need him to eat a few innings and help save the rest of the bullpen arms. He's done a great job so far. Just 2 little disappointing runs coming home there. And again, not even completely on Gar. He's done a great job. He's kept a lot of free bases down, and he's done a good job to get out of jams. That time, Lobliner just had a really good barrel to the ball. That was too much of a line drive to try to escape the park, but it certainly had the velocity. So during this pitching meeting, I'll give you a little bit of a clue for the trivia. This player broke one of Lou Gehrig's records. So yeah, clue to the trivia, former Elmira Pioneer shortstop who broke a Lou Gehrig record. I'm not going to tell you which one, but again, not too hard to think about. 2 outs, runner on second. Carl up for his 4th at-bat. 0 for 2 with a walk. There's strike 1. Gar looking to complete a third and a third inning of work. That one a little bit low, ball 1. Here's the 1-1 from Zivgar. That one's fouled away, strike 2. 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. And to strand that runner right there. 67 degrees as day is turning to night. About to have our sunset. Probably not visible here, mainly because of the cloud coverage. Here's the 1-2. That one's going to be popped up, and that should end the inning. Phelps tracks it, makes the catch. Side is retired, but in total, 3 runs come home on 3 hits, no errors. 2 runners get stranded. So with that, we enter the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll be right back with more Pioneers baseball. And we are back at Historic Dunn Field. Bottom of the 5th inning underway. Max Mandler will resume his at-bat. A caught stealing attempt by Lucas Phelps ended the previous inning. Pioneers looking at a potential 4th loss in a row to start the season. A lot of bad luck, including tonight. 7 runs have scored on 5 hits. Despite a very good start back in the 1st inning for the Pioneers, they haven't been able to respond. Mandler up and ready to go. Hit by a pitch in his previous at-bat. Fouled away. Actually, it was a sacrifice his previous at-bat. He wasn't hit by a pitch, but fouled away, strike 1. Bull Faker still doing a really good job. He's going to step away. In fact, he's doing so well that there's not even a bullpen arm getting ready yet. He's kept the Pios quiet after a tricky 1st inning. And his team has given him enough run support, so that 1st run is practically useless. Here's now the 0-1 to Mandler. Looking to get a 1st hit here. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 2. Tried holding up, but it wasn't enough. The flex player from Seton Hill. Gonna watch that one go low. Ball 1. Yep, so far, no hits. 4. Well, actually, I think still 3 at-bats because recent one was a sacrifice that advanced Phelps. And strike 3 in the dirt. Mandler, bit disappointed at that one. No need to throw to 1st. That's the 1st out of the inning. Janae Vaughn steps up here, grounded out in his previous at-bat, and a choppy play to the pitcher. On a pretty hot start to the season, hoping to continue it here. That was ball 1, a little bit inside. Day truly has turned tonight here. Here's the 1-0. Strike one. That time it does land in the zone. Now here's the 1-1. 1 out. Base is empty. Vaughn's going to ground that hard to second, and that'll be the second out of the inning as it's fielded cleanly. Retire Vaughn. Ruby comes up here with 2 away. Pioneers looking to avoid going down in order as we are about to complete the 5th inning. Arnott Health is the sponsor for the bottom half of the 5th inning. They're the official healthcare provider for the Pioneers. And for any medical needs, go to Arnott Health because they know health. It's what they do. That one's going to be strike one. That breaker fooling Ruby this time. Ruby's first at bat ended in a strikeout. Strike two. That time again landing nicely in the zone. Ruby down 0-2. Staring down the barrel of a second strikeout to end the inning. On deck, Zachary Odom. That one's going to be grounded. Stays fair to third, but it gets by the third baseman. Ruby gets to base first, and that is going to be a very good play for the Pios and a disappointing. I'm guessing that's going to be graded as an error. It is an error for the Power. That time on third baseman. And Hemmer, who just couldn't get his glove to it that time. Odom's going to step up here with a runner aboard and 2 outs. And swing and a miss. That was fouled, I believe. Strike one. By the way, the answer to the previous trivia, Cal Ripken Jr. He had broken the Ironman record from Lou Gehrig for most consecutive games played. But yep, Cal Ripken. He was once an Elmira Pioneers, so a lot of history for our little team. Ball one inside. Odom grounded to the pitcher. The first out back in the 3rd inning. It's now got a runner on and hoping to try to get some offense going. Ominous clouds overhead, rain projected not far away. Throw back to first, and Ruby is safe. Weather forecasted not too far from now. Of course, hoping things can stay dry. That one's going to be grounded shallow to the pitcher again. Throw to first is in time, and the side is retired. In the same way he got out last time, Odom gets out this time. No runs, no hits on 1 error, and 1 left stranded for the Pioneers in the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll be back top of the 6th inning. Hopefully, we can try to finish up the 6th inning and the rest of the game after this. And we are back at Historic Dunn Field for the top of the 6th inning. 7-1 lead for the Power against the Pioneers. New pitcher on the mound for the Pioneers. Tristan Champa makes his debut. He comes from Northern Essex Community College, where he had a sub-1 ERA for the season, so very lethal from the bump. That one's ball one, just a little bit inside to his first batter. He's opening the inning up against Eels, who has drawn 3 walks in this game. And Eels once again is ahead 2-0 in the count. So very much deja vu from the previous 2 at-bats. Champa in 19 innings pitched, he had 30 strikeouts. As that time, Eels flips a script and gets it into the gap for a base hit. Eels tries turn to 2. Throw-ins in time, so he's going to be caught out at second. Eels got greedy and tried going for a double, but gets caught out for the first out of the inning. Good play by Odom to get it in left and bring it back in time. Phelps catches and applies the tag. That's his first hit conceded, but he doesn't need to worry about a base runner now. Ujima's now up with 1 out and bases still empty. Even though it is hit number 6 of the game for the Power, they won't have anything to show for it right now. Strike 1. Ujima goes down on the count on the pitch slightly in the zone. That was a close one. By that time went to the pitcher. Forecast says there's some rain around the other sides of Elmira and might be getting it eventually at Dunn Field, but hopefully it does stay away. That one, strike 1. Should only be light rain, so it's potentially might be able to play through the drizzle. Of course, the big danger is, of course, in warning track. Or at the warning track. It can be very muddy there, as there is dirt there. That one bounces away, ball 2. And swing and a miss, strike 3. And with his second batter, Ujima goes down on strikes. It's actually 2-2 on the count. Two outs already in the inning, a very quick start. Coleman comes up here. Flew out, walked, and got a single in his first 3 at-bats. 1 for 2 on the day. First Transit is this inning's sponsor. Ball 1 just in the dirt. 1-0 to Coleman. Strike 1 on that outside corner. Of course, First Transit inning sponsor, Myra Pioneers, would like to thank First Transit for their continued support of Pioneers baseball. Thank you, First Transit. Now we'll transition back to the game. 1-1. 2-1. Two-one count. Coleman. Coleman scored off that single back the 5th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One more strike away from getting a clean inning. Champa doing a solid job in relief right now. Two-two from the stretch. Outside ball 3, count goes full. Good eye there by Coleman. Throughout the season, Coleman, quiet hitter, but got his first hit a little bit earlier. But strike 3. Coleman goes down looking on that one. And the side is retired. 2 straight strikeouts after a singular hit ends the inning. No one left aboard, no runs, and no hits. All it takes is 3 to end the top of the 6th. We'll be back, bottom of the 6th, right after this. Bottom of the 6th underway back at Historic Dunn Field. Pioneers trailing by 6, running out of time. Rain is projected to come soon. Starting to sound like a Formula One broadcast with that. But for right now, we've stayed dry, which is a great sign. I'm just going to reach outside really quickly. You can see my hand on the camera. It's still dry. So, leading off for the Pioneers in the top half of the bottom of the 6th inning, it's Kyle Shimoleski. Flew out. And also got on base via error in his first 2 at-bats. Down now 0-1 in the count. Wolfaker doing a great job from the mound, 1-1. 5 innings so far. He's conceded just 3 hits and 1 run. And he's managed to get 3 strikeouts against the Pioneers. Here's the 1-1. Ball 2. So Shimoleski able to get ahead here. Two one. Fouled away. That one hitting off the window. Oof. Almost I needed to jump away from that one. That got really close to the camera. 2-2 count now to Shimoleski. He's hoping to improve his average here and get some offense going. Bullpen's still empty. Niagara Power trusting in their starter. He's had a long game, but he's done very well. Gone through innings quickly. Hasn't needed to deal with too much damage. That one outside, ball 3. Texas Roadhouse not only are a sponsor of the Meet the Team night, they also have a poster out in right field. Pioneers player can hit that poster. Free appetizers for everyone. And personally, I'd go with a cactus blossom as my appetizer. I'd do wings, but fortunately they don't have them. Strike 3, swing and a miss. Shimoleski goes down swinging to open the top of the 6th inning. 2 boneless wings, but boneless wings, I feel, are more of a strikeout of wings. Kind of disappointing. Unless you're a fan of boneless wings. And like that play, it's a strikeout. Disappointing for me, but for any Power fans tuning in, I think you'll be a little bit excited about that outcome for that long at-bat. 1 out, and Joel Safsky ready to go up here. He scored the only run, and wow, okay, right away he's going to get on base via hit by pitch. I had barely any time to introduce him as play had resumed, and he gets aboard. Shrugs that off and gets aboard with 1 out. That's going to bring up Joe Muzio. And after a slower start to the season, Muzio doubled and also got on base via hit by pitch. 1 for 1 today. the Eckert first baseman. Sofsky takes a little lead. He is ready to go. First pitch here, the at-bat. Muzio's going to ground that hard. It's very nicely grabbed at second. And that'll be the second out of the inning. So Hill's able to make a quick grab. Can't turn two on that play, but he does get the one. Very, very good play there. And even as the opposing, well, a home announcer, had to applaud the visiting defense that time. Bobby Marsh now with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. So far today, he had a sac fly and a single. One RBI, he has a chance potentially for a second. Marsh going to drive that one. It should be playable for the second out if the outfielders can get under it. They do, and the inning is over. Another relatively painless inning after that flyout. No runs and no hits and no errors. One left aboard for the Pioneers. 7-1 lead for Niagara, entering the top of the 7th inning. We are back at the top of the 7th inning here at Historic Dunn Field. And still looking around, but still a pretty dry night. Rain has given us a reprieve, which is good. I think it's drizzling at some other portions of the town, but it also looks like at a part of this rain system, we don't really need to wait for any real true packages of rain till later on this hour, which is great. We'll definitely have time to get a little more of the game done, hopefully to the end before we really see any showers. That one's lined up the middle. Wasowski almost comes up with it. He actually does, but he takes an awkward tumble that allows the runner to get to first. Great effort, Olsowski. Not enough to keep Simmons off the base path. First pitch leads to a single. Simmons, who'd gone on base previously with a single and a walk, or in another, and a walk, now gets a second hit of the game. Now 2 for 3. Fairbrother up here, 2 flyouts and a walk in his first 3 at-bats. He's 0 for 2 so far. There's a chance with a runner on first. Clarion Inn is the sponsor this inning. Go-to hotel destination for the Pioneers. And that one, ball 1, I think just a little bit high, as that one I think was pretty much down the middle. I think a little bit above zone. Runner on first, 1-0. Strike 1. Count goes even. 1-1 count here. Checks back at first. Runner takes, again, a small lead. Fouled away. Strike 2. Apart from that single, Tampa only surrendered 2 hits in his first one inning. And in that previous inning, that first single he conceded the player who got caught out at second. Here's the 1-2 now. Try to get another out against Fairbrother. That one's going to be grounded to short. Osofsky picks it up, gets the force at second, and Phelps holds on to it. That's a fielder's choice, but gets the lead runner, so very smart play. Fairbrother gets aboard now with one out. And that's going to bring up Zimian. He's 0 for 3 today, but got on base and scored via error back in the second. Tampa, here's the pitch. There's an attempted bunt, goes foul. Mandler tried to get to it and make a catch, wasn't able to. 0-1 count now. One out, 0-1 count now, runner on. And strike two, that one right inside the zone. Inside corner. Zimian not wanting to go down 0 for 4 today. So far this season, he hasn't struck out. He's going to ground that. Phelps picks it up. Wasowski throw to first in time. It's a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. No runs on one hit, no errors, and no one left the board after that double play. Another quick inning from Ciampa, and the Pioneers still a 7-1 Niagara Power lead. Bottom of the 7th here at Historic Dunn Field. Sponsored this inning is Hilliard. You'll see them all around our boards. They are one of our key sponsors. They're also very prominent on our hat and jerseys. Thank you, Hilliard, for being a continued supporter of the Elmira Pioneers. Looking ahead, 2 road games. 6:45 p.m., the Pioneers face off against Utica on the road. Weather should be dry for that game, which is great, and it has stayed dry here, which is also great. Hanley leads off now at the bottom of the 7th. First pitch, strike one. Faker still on the mound, the number 22 for the Niagara Power, having a very solid game through 6 innings. Grounded, but foul. Fielded well, and if that was fair, probably would have been able to get a throw to first in time. Count goes 0-2 to Hanley. So far, Hanley hasn't had a true at-bat. He was hit by a pitch and got on base via walk. Actually, sorry, no. That's Phelps who's on deck. Hanley struck out looking and also grounded into a double play. 0 for 2, trying to improve right here. Didn't go, ball 1. I think that was what they were checking because that was very clearly outside as ball 1. But again, he did nearly swing. course, it is expected potential rain in the future, but for now, it's still dry. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hanley goes down swinging to open up the inning. Base is empty for for Lucas Phelps, who steps up. Phelps is the player. Have a true at bat yet. Strike 1. Phelps wanting to keep generating a bit of offense. Phelps drives that one, but it's going to land foul over into the bullpen. We do see a Pioneer warming up there. Champ has done well, though, so I wouldn't want to take him out just yet. (0-2) to Phelps. Here's the pitch. That one's high, ball 1. (1-2) to Phelps. So needs to kick some dust away before resuming. Here's the pitch. And swing and a miss. That was tipped right back into the catcher's glove. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts this inning so far. A quick start from Holfaker, and he's now 1 out away from another clean inning. No one yet warming up for Niagara, and no reason to. Holfaker pitching the best stuff he's done all game. Previous inning, he has conceded a runner off an error and hit by pitch the previous 2, but has been able to retire the sides cleanly apart from that. So far this game, he's racked up 5 strikeouts. That one's going to be ball 1 to open up against Max Mandler. Ball 2. So Mandler able to get ahead here. Still 2 outs. Only 1 more out needed to get out of the jam. Well, why did I say jam? The bases are empty. 2-0 count. 2 outs. Mandler getting ahead in the count here. Good start against someone who's been a very dominant pitcher. Stays ahead. Count goes 3-0. Probably going to be a take here. Just try to get a base runner. I'm feeling Holfaker's just going to try to give a strike here. Keep this at-bat going. Rio. And ball 4. That one misses the zone. And a walk is conceded. Runner gets aboard with 2 outs to bring up Janae Vaughn. And Vaughn is not the type of hitter you really want to face with a runner aboard. So far, Vaughn has grounded out twice. He's been a bit quieter tonight. Throw back to first. Safe. Vaughn has a bit of power behind his bat. Wants to show it off. He wants to try to get everyone some free Texas Roadhouse. Try to speak that into existence. Throw back to first. Runner back again. Safe. Don't think they're going to want to try to send Mandler here with 2 outs. No need to really try to be aggressive. You need a lot of runs just to stay consistent. Still waiting that first pitch to Vaughn. Here it is. 1 around. Strike 1. Pios still knocking on the door, trying to get another run. Started out the game strong, but after that fell behind and haven't been able to really show a lot of signs of life since. Vaughn grounds that through the hole, base hit. Mandler's going to round second, heading for third. The throw in all the way from right field is corralled. Vaughn going to second. So with that, it's a single from Vaughn. I think he's going to get there via fielder's choice. Second, but a play there to bring 2 runners in scoring position. Berube steps up here with 2 outs. Clutch play by Vaughn. Keeps that on the ground. And when the throw to third is made, he says, hey, thank you. I'm just going to take second if you don't mind. Ruby now. 2 on, 2 out. He's looking for his first hit as a Pioneer. 0 for 2 today, though he did get on base via error back in the 5th. Wolfaker steps off the mound. Crowd getting loud here at Dunn Field, trying to generate a little bit of offense. Finally see someone walking over to the bullpen. Here's the pitch. That one's strike one. Now, I actually do want to mention something. I believe... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, I thought the 18 had been catcher previously. He wasn't. Instead, he was the warm-up catcher for pitchers. But now we do see him going over to the bullpen, pitcher to warm up. That one gets away. Bandler's going to go home and score. It's a 7-2 ball game. 1-1 count. And Vaughn makes it to third on the wild pitch. So already one run has come home. And that is very good for the Pioneers. So they're not going to be exiting this inning with nothing. At minimum, they've gotten one run. And now there's going to be a conference at the mound. I wonder, because, again, they just sent someone out to the bullpen. He's just letting them know, all right, just finish this inning. That'll be your final inning of work. You've done great so far. Focus on getting Berube out and getting out of the jam. Meanwhile, we see Drum talking with Berube saying, listen, let's get some offense going and force them to pull their bullpen arm in. And if he's not ready, we can try to continue to get some offense. Top of the order is coming soon. We already know that Odom is a pretty consistent guy hitting. The 1-1, runner on third and 2 outs. Still dry. I think it's probably going to stay that way. See maybe some light showers later. 1-1 count. Berube still up. Berube's going to line that to third, but a catch is made to end the inning. A run comes home on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 is left aboard for the Pioneers. That does it for the 7th inning. 7-2 lead for the Power as the Pioneers finally get one back. We'll be back with more after this. Ooh. Vaccaro comes onto the mound for the Pioneers to start the top of the 8th inning. The lefty's going to open it up here. And he is a player we still haven't seen as well. So we're seeing quite a few more of the other bullpen arms. Drum still trying some things out. With the lefty getting ready to go this time. The sidearm motion too, so that's going to be very interesting as a lefty pitcher facing batters with that weird little motion. Hemmer leads off. Had a single where he scored from in his previous at-bat. Where's had a pretty solid defensive game at third base, apart from an error. And at the plate, 1 for 3. He had started the game with 2 strikeouts, but responded well, getting a single back the 5th inning. Here's Vaccaro to Hemmer. First pitch, strike 1. Ooh, wow. That one I thought was a bit inside. But maybe I was just passing over the plate in a way that the umpire liked. 0-1 count now. That one's outside, ball 1. 1-1 count now. And it really has gotten dark here in Niagara Field. Still 66 degrees. Fouled away. 1-2 count now to Hemmer. Vaccaro staying ahead of his first batter. There's a storm system moving by that pretty much hanging around the low side of. Could be getting a little bit of rain eventually, but for now it's still dry. 1-2 count now. And that one's in the dirt, ball 2. Base is empty, no one out. Vaccaro, very low leverage situation, trailing by 5. Just looking to try to get this inning done and potentially top of the 9th done as well. Ball 3. Not falling for those bait pitches there is Hemmer. And he's now ahead of the count. Full count. Payoff pitch coming up. Here it is. Wind up. Outside, ball 4. So a walk to start off from Vaccaro. The runner gets aboard. No one on, or one on, no outs. Bottom of the order, Lobliner comes up. And today he's had 4 RBIs on 2 bases clearing doubles. He has been hitting very well for the Power today, generating a lot of power from his bat. He's going to now drop a bunt that goes foul, strike 1. That one might have caught the Pios off guard. I wonder if they're going to try to play in a little bit more. See Muzio and Mandler potentially running forward. But indeed, Lobliner having a solid game. Not the type of guy who's expected to do very well. He entered the game with just 1 RBI and no hits and 6 at-bats. Pretty much flipped the script to that this time around. He's going to line that one to right field. Gets behind Vaughn. That likely will bring a run home, and that could be a triple. In around second, heading for third. Throwing from Vaughn. The other throwing to third. He's going to get in there. Stand-up RBI triple. That's his 5th RBI of the game. So what a game from Lobliner. Truly a career day for him. And Hemmer scores all the way from first. It's now an 8-2 ball game. And the Powers responded immediately after Elmira finally got another one on the board. Runner on third, no outs. Top of the order, Carl back up there. He's going to ground out to short, but a run will score. Does the job of a sacrifice right there. One out, now the bases are empty. It's a 9-2 ball game. So just in the span of 2 pitches, 2 more runs come home. But not really Vaccaro's fault. That first one, maybe. But again, he forced the ground out and just a little bit too hard to get the runner out at home there. 1 out. Empty bases, clean slate. Now up is Eels. 3 walks and 1 single. 1-0 count. That one's grounded up the hole, base hit. Mailer not able to pick that one up. And so he's going to get a second hit of the game. That means that Eels, in every single one of the times he stepped to the plate, which is 5 times, he's gotten at least on base, which is a pretty impressive streak. Ujima is now up with a runner on and no out and 1 out. Ujima struck out in his previous at bat. See some "Let's Go Pios" chants. Crowd still excited. Ujima with a runner on, ready to go. Looks at a bunt, gets in the dirt, ball 1. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch now from Ficarro. Said he's going to throw back to first. Being a lefty, he's got that advantage where he doesn't really have to turn to first. He can just kind of go up and fire a throw. Fires back to first on ball 2. Berube was hoping to catch Eels off guard, but doesn't there. Very quick throw, I will also mention. That one, strike 1, landing inside the zone. With that motion, things are a little bit of a rising action there. Here's the 2-1 now. Runner on first. Carl looks, throws back, and the runner's back safely. Just wanted to keep that runner true. That's a pop fly, and this is the roof. I said hits the dugout roof. Hopefully no one was in there. 2-2 count after that foul ball. Runner still on first with 1 out. Count stays alive. Here's the 2-2. He's going to ground that to short. Olsovsky picks it up, throws to second. No, it gets by Phelps. Runner's going to go to third. Runners will now be at the corners with 1 out. And I think that'll probably be an error on Olsovsky on that toss to second. So again, runners now at the corners. Still 1 out. Strike 1, that one on the outside corner. Two on, 1 out. Pullman up. Swing and a miss. Got him that time with a slower pitch. Now a chance to try to get out number 2 right here. Try to get a little bit closer to getting out of the inning. Tricky situation, runners to the corners. That one fouled away. Staying alive. Oh, 2 now, Ficarro. Looking for a sign. He gets one he likes. 2 on. 1 out. Strike 3. Ooh. And you got to feel a little bit bad for Coleman. I thought that was actually a bit outside, but that is strike 3, his first strikeout. And second out of the inning. And I think Holman just looks a little bit disappointed on that pitch. Puts his head down and saying, dang. Yeah, and it's not a very important at bat. It's already a 9-2 lead. The Power have actually expanded it this inning after conceding a run in the bottom of the seventh. It's still dry as well, so I think we'll be able to complete this game, which is always great. Throw back to first, but runner goes home. Gets home safely. So the pickoff attempt leads to a runner just saying, hey, don't mind if I go home. Heels able to get that. It's now a 10-2 ball game. (10-2) lead for the Power. And there still is a runner on first with 2 outs. Strike one. So that one called strike. Here's the 0-1 now. The Sinnons. That one in the dirt, ball 1. Ruby back up quickly. Strong as Power have been, it's hard to say that the Pioneers have done too much wrong, apart from being relatively quiet at the plate. We've had some fielding mishaps from time to time, but a lot of the things have just been very well choreographed by the Power. They've taken advantage of a couple slip-ups. That's the reason the lead is so big. It's come off 3 big innings. This one included. 2-1. That ball. 2 outs. Ball 3. Ruby trying to frame that, and I will say that was a pitch that previously was being called close to strikes. I think the umpire is saying, nope, I want to see it a little bit further inside. 3-1 now for Sinnons. And ball 4. Now we do see a player warming up, and it looks like Ruby might want to just quick word. No, just getting a little closer for the throw. Sinnons gets on base. They're now 2 on. 2 outs. DH coming up here, and that is Fairbrother. He's back at the plate. 0 for 3 with a fielder's choice and walk. That one in the dirt, ball 1. 1-0 count. 2 outs, 2 on. Strike 1. Count goes 1-1 here. Here's the pitch from Ficarro. Swing and a miss. Got him that time with a slightly off-speed one. Count 1-2 now. Chance to try to get out of the inning. Get the Pios bats back up. Scored 1 run, and, well, let's just say they're probably going to need a really crazy inning to get close to coming back right here. That one's going to be lined to the outfield. Vaughn tracking it. Makes the catch to end the inning. So with that, the inning comes to a close. In total, 3 runs come home on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 are left on base. Bottom of the 8th coming up next here at Dunn Field. It's staying dry, so we should get to the end of the game nice and cleanly. We'll be back after this. We are back, bottom of the 8th, and just had to get everything in order really quick. There was a little bit of a scramble to try to figure out who's on the mound, and for the life of me, I don't know. Nick Lowe is supposed to be number 9, but last time we checked, he's a left-handed pitcher, not a right-handed one. Unless he's the type of pitcher that's switch-handed, which is honestly probably rarer than Bigfoot. Or it could very well be Ryan Peterson, who's listed as a lefty pitcher, but that very well could also be a little sight glitch. So we don't really know, but we'll assume it's one of those two. But either way, that does end Hole Baker's day. That one bounces away. In fact, it even says Lowe's number 9. So my only guess would be if Lowe's handedness is listed completely incorrect. And swing and a miss, strike 3. So with that one, Odom goes down swinging in order. And again, apologize as well. Still trying to figure out who was on the mound there. But we're just going to say it's probably Nick Lowe. But whoever it is, they got their first out very quickly. And a little bit less stress. 1 out. Bottom of the 8th. First pitch, ball 1. Chmielewski, top of the order, back up there for the Pioneers. 0 for 3, got on base via error. Still looking for his first true hit of the game. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Just a generally quiet night at the plate for the Pioneers. Entering the game, they've been scoring pretty well. 10 runs in their last 2. That one fouled away, strike 2. But today they've conceded 10 and only gotten 2 home. Bit of Murphy's Law for the Pioneers. And honestly, it's just been what it's been the entire season. Still a long way to go. And this team definitely has talent. Problem is, things just aren't clicking at the right times. That one's ball 2 outside. The errors category has been pretty active tonight. 5 in total, 3 from the Pios, 2 from the Power. These two teams will face each other, I think, at the end of the week. So chance for the Pioneers to get revenge. Then swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 strikeouts to open the inning. Low from the bullpen. So the pitching strength continues. And both of the strikeouts can come on errant swings. Bottom of the 8th, still underway. It is dry. Man, what happened with those rain forecasts? Don't you like it when the rain forecast is wrong? I certainly do. It means we got a little more baseball under our belts. Olszewski comes up again. He's got a chance with 2 outs to try to keep this inning alive. Ball 1. Now I'm also going to give you another baseball trivia, but I'm going to flip it on its head a little bit. Instead of being about the Pioneers, I'm going to give you 3 classic players, and I'm going to ask you which one didn't play the Pioneers. You know, I'll think of something in a minute. 1-1 count. That one's up a little bit high. Olszewski now ahead 2-1. So actually, I'll give you this question right here. Which team is Olszewski's father currently a coach at? And it's the NFL, but which team is it? I'll give you one more hint. It's in the AFC. So we'll see Joe Olszewski here. 2-2 count. Trying to keep this inning alive. High, ball 3. Full count to Olszewski. Hit by pitch. Got a single and got a flyout. That one flies. Foul. Speaking of flies, from my view up here, you can see quite a few flies flying around here. Very close to the river. Reason you can see a few insects going around here. Full count one more time after that foul ball. Here it is. Outside, ball 4. Olszewski gets aboard via walk. Joe Muzio comes back up. A little bit quieter from him tonight. A double, hit by pitch, and a lineout. So he's 1 for 2. Runner on. Here's low. And that one gets away, so the runner is going to get to second. Kind of slips right between the catcher's glove and Muzio. It doesn't hit him. Doesn't get him aboard. It does bring the count to 1-0. Quick meeting between catcher and pitcher. Joe talking with the umpire. And I think maybe Joe was trying to say maybe that hit him or something. But I don't know. The way they're still discussing. Again, Joe is talking to pretty much everyone on the field. Opposing players, opposing coaches, umpires, and even sometimes fans. I remember there was a solitary fan in the stand by the Pioneers dugout during batting practice, and Joe said hi right to the fan before the game. Really nice gesture. That one, strike one, as he tried to check up but didn't. Not enough. Olsovsky on second. Joe went a little bit too far around here. 1-1 count. Joe's going to get that into the outfield past the sliding second baseman. It's an RBI single for Joe Muzio, and it's a 10-3 ball game with 2 outs. Olsovsky comes home from second, and Muzio keeps his hot bat going, getting himself to first and getting a run home. 10-3 the score. Bobby Marsh comes up here. 1 for 3 today, but he has an RBI off a sacrifice back in the first. That was when we thought maybe the Pioneers' offense was really swinging strong. Then they were pretty much shut down for the next 6 innings. They've started to come alive here. 2 runs in the past 2 innings. And chance here with 2 outs and a runner on. Strike one. Marsh taking a look at that one. Muzio on first. Marsh at the plate. 0-1 count. Strike two. That was a little inside, but Elm says still on that zone. Still on that corner. 0-2 to Marsh. He has to potentially strike out the side this next pitch for low on the mound. Swing and a miss. Strike three. As that one goes in the dirt, all it takes is a very safe throw to first to end the inning. Strike side was struck out, but 1 run did come home on 1 hit. No errors. 1 runner was left aboard. That'll do it for the 8th inning. 9th inning coming up right after this. It's still dry, so again, you brought an umbrella? Well, I guess you just have a little bit of extra baggage. Be back. Jarek Podest takes the mound again for the Pioneers. He pitched back in the previous game and had a very solid 4-inning outing, only conceding 2 runs in what ultimately was a 9-6 Pioneers loss. He had a tough job coming in with a pretty loaded scoreline after Ethan Herrera had conceded 5 runs. A few of those came off some blue plays and things, but POTUS did a great job of keeping it quiet. As Coach Drum said, POTUS doesn't throw really hard, but he's able to fill the zone and get the bats going. And as Coach Drum even said, the bats at this level aren't that powerful. All it takes is good defense to shut them down. And for the most part, that's been the case for the season. Tonight, we've seen the power bats doing pretty well, but again, there's also been 3 errors and a couple of other plays that probably made this game a lot less competitive than it kind of is. Actually, I'm going to put my hand outside 1 second. The roof extends, but we can see it through the lights. It is starting to drizzle. But at this point, we've already played nearly a complete game. The outcome really isn't in doubt. You know, it's never over till it's over. Back at the University of Tampa, there were some pretty late games that got crazy. For instance, an 8-2 lead evaporating into an 8-7 lead with bases loaded and a full count in the bottom of the 9th during the regional tournament for Division II baseball. But again, that's unlikely to happen here. But of course, still want to play it, still want to try to get to that point as a few showers come down here. 1-1 count now. After getting behind on that first pitch, POTUS fires right back with a strike. Top of the 9th underway. At the plate is Zimian. And 1-2 now. Zimian grounded out to a double play in his previous at-bat. 0 for 4. Did get on base and scored via error previously. Fouled away. Staying alive. Yeah, one thing POTUS has done really well is to pitch to contact and force his defense to do the work. And so far, the Pioneers' defense has been pretty good at doing work. Hitting plays. POTUS was able to get through a lot of clean innings and pretty quickly. In that previous game, as we've mentioned. Swing and a miss there. I think that one is a foul, as I think either tipped off the bat or off of him. Being, of course, Zimian. Don't see any real pinch hitters. I think they're just still trusting their starting lineup. Niagara 2-2. Probably going to extend to 3-2 with this win. That one fouled off to the left, but is it playable? Odom makes the grab. That was out in foul territory, but Odom runs and tracks it down for the first out of the inning. Roars of approval here from the Pioneers crowd. Still staying excited here, despite the light showers. Showers are expected to increase a little bit later, but for now they're still pretty dry. Hammer comes up after a slow start of 2 strikeouts. Did pretty well. Got a single and scored and a walk and scored. Strike 1 right on that inside corner. 0-1 count, 1 out. Here's the pitch from POTUS. Fouled away. That one had some barrel behind it. Goes foul. Count goes 0-2. This is what we mean. POTUS can work through some batters quickly, and he also got the first out to start the inning off that great running play by Odom. That'll definitely give him the confidence to try to get through the final 2 bats we might see from Niagara tonight. Ball 1 just a little low. Even though POTUS technically has a 4.50 ERA, which is 3rd best in the team, he's honestly pitched very well that he would pretty much ignore those earned runs that he gave up. That one's going to be hit far, but Vaughn gets under it. That's the 2nd out of the inning. Wild cheers from Pios fans would make you think that this was the top of the 9th of a 10-3 win right now. Still ecstatic here tonight at Dunn Field, and you'll have to see the fans staying excited, even in what hasn't been the greatest game for the Pioneers. Lobliner comes back up, and even though he's the 9-hitter, he's been on fire tonight, 3 for 4, and most recently, a bases-clearing triple, where he also would later score from. So with 2 outs here, he's got a pretty important at-bat to try to keep this inning alive, and the team doesn't really need more padding for scoring, but he'd like to give it. 0-1 after that foul ball goes backward. Truly a career day for him, and very impressive stuff. Entered the game 0 for 6 at the plate, and leave today, potentially at best, 4 for 10, or currently is 3 for 10, could leave 4 for 11, maybe 3 for 11. Regardless, I'd say he's probably the player of the game with his pretty clutch hitting. I don't think it's a real surprise to see that whenever he's batted, his team has scored. Back in the 2nd, 5th, and 8th. Fouled away, 0-2. That one I think stung his hand a little bit. He just ducks away from the plate. 1-2, I apologize. One, two. That one sent high. Muzio looking for it, but it's foul. That's going to land off the dugout. Aw, you see Muzio embracing a teammate on the bench. 1-2 count still. Pioneers travel on the road their next 2 games over the next 2 days. One, two. Fouled away one more time. Count stays alive. Inning stays alive. Here's the 1-2. Fouled away again. Lobliner doing a great job of keeping alive in the count. Stays 1-2 again. 9:55. And the light showers that were here not too long ago, I think, have pretty much died down. We predicted some light rain over the next hour or two, but again, it's been light. That one's popped up. Ruby tracking it. And he gets it to end the inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Pioneers. As the side is retired, bottom of the 9th, coming up, Pioneers need 7 to come back and win. Back to see if they can right after this. And we are back with more Pioneers baseball, bottom of the 9th underway. Final warm-ups being taken. At this time, I'd just like to thank our sponsors for tonight's Meet the Team and free poster night one more time. I want to thank Blaze Brockway Contracting, Texas Roadhouse, Just-in-Time Roofing and Seamless Gutters, Hilliard Multimedia Services, York, Chemung Schuyler, Today's Special, and Buckley's Automotive Inc. Thank you again for sponsoring the Pioneers tonight and throughout the season. You are appreciated. That final warm-up pitch is done and dusted, so here come the potential final 3 outs of the game. Elmira ready to go. Leading off is Justin Hanley, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a double play. Here's Hanley, he's ready to go. Ball 1 just outside. Now entering the game, After that, second pitch is swung and missed for strike one. Low at a 12 ERA with 3 innings pitched, 3 earned, and 4 hits and 1 walk. But he also recorded, actually, apologize, it was 2 walks and 4 earned. 6 total runs, but 2 of them were unearned as there's a 1-2 count now. 5 hits. This season, Hanley still hitless, 0 for 7. Did score a run, of course, I mentioned off that swing and miss that he got on base from. Low, ball 2, Hanley working a nice hitter's count. Well, not yet. He still needs one more pitch, and he's got the full count done and dusted. But from 0-2, he's done a good job finding back. And hits him. Gets on base. Start the 9th. Phelps up here with a runner on and no outs. Phelps has been a little quieter today. 0 for 1 because he's had a hit by pitch and walk. He also struck out. He's gone to third once but couldn't score, and he got to second but was caught stealing on the attempt. So, Phelps looking to improve here. That one's strike 1, low in the zone. Power. Still in control here, but decent hitters coming up from the Pioneers. Ball 1 just a little bit high. See Hanley taking a little lead. Wonder maybe if Coach Drum wants to get aggressive, try to send him. At this point, you might as well. Not much to lose here with 7-run deficit, bottom of the 9th. 2-1 count, that one just a bit outside. And I think as the system is moving past Elmira and the region, we've actually gotten very lucky, as it is completely past field, and we are only on the very outskirts of it, which is very good news for us. 3-1 count now. That one was also ball. Potential chance for another runner to get aboard. Wonder if someone eventually might have to go to the power bullpen. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Phelps went around in the what probably would have been ball 4. Full count runner on, no outs. Hanley, small lead. Ball 4. Phelps gets aboard after drawing a full count. And the first 2 base runners are on. A walk and hit by pitch. Very solid start to the inning for Pioneers. They were maybe looking to try to generate a little bit of late offense. They've done well before in the 9th innings, trying to get some runs across. Mandler, now up, ready to go. Get a walk, sacrifice, and strikeout. Two on, no outs for Mandler. Strike 1 in that high outside corner. Vaughn, Berube, and Odom on deck. Combined, they are 1 for 9. Here's the 0-1. And that one hits him. Bases are loaded. That's a second hit by pitch this inning. And now Janae Vaughn has inherited a bases loaded situation with no one out. Vaughn, who has already been pretty strong this season, now has a chance to really get some offense going for the Pios. And apart from that, he doesn't have an RBI yet. He'd certainly love his first one right here. And they're just going to have a conference at the mound. The pitching coach, I'm just thinking, is telling him, listen, got a 7-run lead. All right. Don't make them think they have a chance to come back. I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying. But again, there's no reason to try to change him yet. I do imagine there will be someone warming up. Niagara, of course, will have to drive back afterwards, and I think there might be some rain on the road when they're driving. But of course, here in Elmira, it stayed dry. Baseball gods have given us a chance to play. Bases loaded. Janae Vaughn up and ready to go. Here's the first pitch. Vaughn's going to ground that over to first. Going to take the force out as Vaughn will get an RBI that time. Runners now on third and second with 1 out. It's a 10-4 ball game. Devon does a job and gets some runners home. Ruby's now up. Got on base via error, but so far hasn't had a hit yet in his 3 at-bats. That one's a little bit high, ball 1. Ruby would love to try to get a first hit here and just help his team out a little bit more. We do now see some activity over in the Niagara bullpen. On deck, we see Odom. And honestly, with these batters, I'm not sure if there's reason. Hit by pitch. I was going to say, maybe not a lot of reason to try to go for another pinch hitter, but that is a third hit by pitch in the inning, and the bases are loaded again. So from runners on second and third, the base is loaded. Obviously, it's not intentional. It's just the ball slipping out of his hand in the wrong way. It's going to bring up Zach Odom, who's grounded out twice and struck out once in his 3 at-bats with bases loaded. 1 out. Odom pops that one up, but it's going to go foul off the roof. 0-1 count. So a little bit exciting here. You got a run that would bring the deficit to 9 on deck, and what would be a tying run, if it even can step out of the sunlight, or out of the nightlight here, just sitting in the hole. That was a little bit low, ball 1 to Odom. I do have a feeling that if things go poorly this at-bat, Niagara will want to look into the bullpen just to try to finish out this inning. 1-1. Strike 1 gets that outside corner. 1-2 count now to Odom. His brother, of course, also a Pioneer, but he was injured, so he isn't able to join the team this summer, which is a shame. But here's the 1-2 to Odom. That one's in the dirt. 2-2. Lands in a way where there's no real danger of anyone going home. Phelps, third, Mandler in second, Ruby on first. 2-2 now to Odom. Bases loaded. Has popped up foul. Will it stay fair? It's playable. Makes the catch. 2 outs now. Still bases loaded. And right there was Hammer making a running catch. Chmielewski up here with 2 outs and bases loaded. Oh for 4 today, but did get on via error. Here's the 0-0. Chmielewski pops that one up, and that should do it. Second baseman trying to track it, makes the catch, and it's a 10-4 win for the Niagara Power. They improve in the season to 3-2 and break the losing skid that they had started with a previous game loss. For the Pioneers, it's just a continued losing streak, and I guess you can call it at that point. 4th loss in a row to start the season, and this one of the weaker ones, a 10-4 defeat. The final scoreline, the Niagara Power, 10 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors, while the Elmira Pioneers have 4 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors. The winning pitcher today, after a very long game and great effort, was Holfaker, who finished 7 complete innings of surrendering just 3 runs, I believe. Nope, only 2 runs. So very good outing from him. He gets his first win of the season, improving his record on the year to 1-1. Meanwhile, Kevin Serrano is credited with the loss after 1 2/3 innings, surrendering 4 runs. That's it for Elmira Pioneer Baseball. No fireworks tonight. Next time you'll see them are on June 17th. You'll also see them July 3rd and 16th. Well, Pioneers, they're going to be back at it tomorrow. They're playing Utica at 6:45 p.m. And then, on the next day, Thursday the 9th, they face Oneonta at 7 p.m. Afterwards, they have 2 more games at home, and then go on the road to Jamestown Sunday at 4 p.m. before having another break next Monday. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Taylor Storley, broadcaster for the Elmira Pioneers. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you tomorrow night as the Pioneers are still fighting, still trying to get win number 1.